I'm taking this one?
Yes.
Okay. I think obviously the premise was really cool. The network that was involved, Hallmark, we knew that they have a more wholesome appeal and approach to the type of entertainment they make. We didn't want to be a part of a salacious type dating show, and we also didn't want to put our relationship as the spectacle. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to be there as the host and kind of lend our our help as we could to these couples, but really keep the focus on them, and that was the premise of the show. So those two things, and then also it was being filmed in Sardinia, Italy, which is a blue zone. It's an incredible place.
It's so beautiful.
Amazing.
Yes. Every show has its audience, you know, and for us, we wanted to be a part of something that, didn't have a gajillion contestants or just contestants, you know.
Yeah, contestants in general.
And, one person dating 10 girls or vice versa, you know, weird. And getting mad and, pouring wine or something in somebody's face or whatever,
that drama.
The over the top stuff, But this show, like the entire family can watch. Yeah. It's good like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think more so than learning so much about our relationship, I think it's just a more appreciation for the type of relationship, that we have, and just kind of owning our own thing, and what else?
I didn't have any doubt, but it was just such a pleasure and so much fun to work with you. That was what was really great. Like there was no...
But we knew.
I knew that.
Yeah.
But this was a different experience. Yeah. And, I didn't know exactly the ins and outs of it. And it was just so effortlessly, the way we executed our days on the set, off the set, it was effortless. It was great.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
It was, yeah. That's what was really interesting to me. It's just the experience of it all was awesome.
I think it has a lot to do with our personalities anyway, and just the way that we interact with each other, When I see that he's getting a little stressed or whatever, I know how to, de-escalate, and vice versa, know. I'll just say, Matthew, calm down.
Go to the craft service table. Get yourself a little food.
Right. Are you hungry?
You'll be fine. Yeah, exactly.
And me too, you know, it's like that hangry thing, but we just get along very well. Yeah. And I think that has everything to do with it. We have so much respect for one another and admiration, and we just, want to keep everything in a harmonious, environment. You know what I mean? That's just kind of like the best feeling.
I don't want to say one couple in particular, even though I gotta say you really nailed it. Going in, Chilli was like, them, possibly them, but them, and she was right on the whole time. But I don't want to say anything because honestly, they're all great.
No, they are.
All the couples deserve to get their moment in this show. They really do. So it's not really in our place to say that, and we have to see them. So we're not going to be like, by the way, you're our favorite. Oh, hey, everyone else. Hi.
But honestly, some couples have, chemistry that you can see immediately, and just because you have chemistry doesn't mean that, your relationship is going to work. But it's just some things that you see right away. And I saw some things in a couple of the, couples, and I was like, that's pretty obvious right there, And I think everybody will have their favorite couple, for whatever reason. And because they're all great, all 5 couples are so sweet. And I think that they all came to, Italy for the right reason and wanting to, see if something from the past could really happen for the future, in the present. So it was nice to see the journey.
I think hearing Paul and Leslie's story was really just fascinating to see that
they were the couple. They're older.
Yeah, they're older,
like
and there had been a 40-year gap between the time that they'd last seen each other, and they thought about each other that whole time.
40 years.
So that just made it. It wasn't that it was this big eye-opening thing. It was just like, oh yeah, it really, time goes by so fast, and you really are just your 12 or 20 or 30-year-old self. There is no, it's not like, oh, all of a sudden you're older and everything changes. It's not like that. You're just, you look older, but really inside you're really the same person.
Or you're older and you've given up on love, or you don't want it anymore. That's just not true. You know, love can happen at any age.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and so I hope that is something that the audience will pick up, you know, when they see, because the ages range from early 30s to 70s.
70s, yeah, which is really cool.
And they all had butterflies, you know. It was so sweet to see.
For me, it was the walks along the water on the pier
I have
to
to
this
agree.
one restaurant that we just fell in love with, and we pretty much went there every day. Yeah, it's just, and after work, it was like, let's go.
What's the name of the restaurant?
You gotta say it, because I keep getting it wrong.
Bambusa.
Bambusa.
Yes.
There it is. It was
Bambusa.
awesome. Yeah, Bambusa. We had just such a great
It was
time.
the best food.
Yeah, the food was
So
incredible.
clean. And that is when we could go there and eat, you know, you were killing the spaghetti, pizza and all that. You don't feel bloated or anything.
No, the grains they're real. They're
Yes,
not
it's
GMO'd,
real. Not at all.
Pumped with pesticides like we
it's
get here,
it's a
unfortunately.
blue zone, so, you know, that's why.
Yeah, it really does change things, and I even have like a gluten intolerance now in the U.S., and I'm Italian, so to not be able to pound pasta here is it's tough. But in Italy, I was eating it, and I was like, I feel amazing, you know, because it's just grain and eggs, and
the abs were popping, you know. You know, because you know, we eat stuff like that here in the States, and I mean, it's just laying on your abs, like, hey, what's up, you know. But not there.
Not there. Yeah.
Well, he likes margarita pizza.
Yeah, I'm the simple margarita. I can do like a mushroom every now and then. You know, I used to do pepperoni, but now I don't do that anymore.
That's right. That's right. Yep, leave that swine alone. When I eat pizza, pesto sauce instead of the red, because I have acid reflux, so unfortunately I can't do the red. But I did have a little red sauce when we were there, and it didn't bother me. I was nervous, but it was okay.
There's another special thing, especially when you're down in southern Italy, which Sardinia is obviously off the coast of southern Italy, there, where my family happens to be from originally. They cut the acidity with many different factors because they want it to be more sweet, and that is it's the soil, one, that just naturally produces tomatoes of less acid content, but also they use a little bit of carrot and carrot juice, which also cuts. And then it's like this
I need to start doing that.
And then they puree it, so it's not like the northern sauce. It's almost, they call it more of a gravy. It's got the onions, the real acidic tomatoes, and it's chunky and it's hearty, which is another whole thing and great into its own self. But the southern Italian food in particular, it's all about this, the purity, the simplicity, and the lack of acid. That's like a big deal.
Well, you know, we just have conversation. I am really into, you know, eating clean and all that. And so that is like a big deal for me. And it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so, the pig, he's a cute little guy and everything, you know, and we shouldn't eat him though. And so I just talked to him about that and the reasons why and all of that. So yeah.
It's the bacon, that's the hard one.
I understand.
Darn bacon, it's so good.
I've never had pork bacon in my life. I just didn't grow up eating.
It's good because you don't know
that.
what you're missing, believe me. It's really good. But yeah.
But things that taste so good aren't always good for us, and we know that, you know.
Yeah.
So I just want him to be as healthy as he can possibly be, because we have to, God please, live and be healthy in our right mind, you know, like well in our hundreds, you know. And still with the six-pack.
Go to the beach.
No, we're not. No, that will not be us. Absolutely not.
Put my teeth on the side, not table.
No. No, we'll have implants, honey. We are not having dentures. Take out.
Could you comb this one hair to the side?
Oh no, we're gonna find hair transplant, all of it. We're doing everything. We're just gonna age gracefully. But seriously, you know, and it starts with what you put inside, right? and then you have to keep moving and exercise, drink your water, get your sleep, all that. I think so. You know, we're not all over social media.
Yeah.
You know, when we do, it is for a cause. You know, we're just having fun, like doing a little dance thing or whatever. You know, that's always fun. But we're not, you know, the ones that, like, let's say if his birthday and I have a picture posted of him, I'm not writing 8 paragraphs because I know him. I can just tell him these things, you know, just, I don't understand that kind of thing. Look, to each their own, but we just don't do that, you know? And
my favorite is, so I broke my arm last week.
oh my gosh, yes.
Or I'm in the hospital getting stitches. Oh,
Yes.
it's awful. And you're like, you're reenacting a moment
Yes.
of where you really broke your arm?
No, here's
What
the
is
thing.
going on with us here?
No, here's the thing. The whole record yourself crying. But here's the thing. You have to look back at it.
Right. You're like, oh, that was a
Before-
good tear right there.
Yeah, before posting.
Was posting that one.
So that is strange.
That's a strange one. Yeah, it really is. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we don't do any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's about my feelings, you know, all these sorts of things that are fun. And, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, absolutely. To try to, you know, open up and it's the most important thing. It really is. And when you stop communication, a lot of things can go wrong. So it's important, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I just always, my default mode is to joke around, just, you know, to cut the tension for myself. But it's a very serious thing. You gotta be open, and you gotta communicate, and you gotta say what you're feeling, where you are, and how, you know, the other person makes you feel, and how, and vice versa. It's very important. Absolutely, I wouldn't have been ready for this type of relationship in my early 20s. No way.
what about your 30s?
Maybe no. I think the timing was obviously the timing. I mean, yeah, I don't think so. No, I mean, I don't know if I think I would have definitely responded the same way, but I don't know if I would have had the maturity or the experience of knowing what the other side is like, so that I would appreciate it as much as I do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not afraid of marriage, you know, and I think that I think that's like one of the most beautiful things about a relationship, when you can get married and all that. And marriage is deep. It's really deep, you know. You go in, you got to know what you're doing, and it's not easy, you know. But I can't imagine it being so hard with the right person. You know, I mean, you're gonna have things that life throws at you. You know. But when two people have that foundation, you know, of not just being friends and having, you know, that love and respect for one another, and that person wanting it as much as you, then you have a great chance at having a successful marriage. And of course, you know, I love the Lord, so the Lord has to be the head of that relationship too.
Jeez, I mean,
I don't know about like tradition, but it's like after Christmas, then I come to you, or we just kind of like, you know, because he has his family, everybody's in LA, and I have my family in Atlanta. And so we just, you know, figure out how to move around. Even if we lived in the same city, you know, I would still be with my family doing that. Yeah. So I think it's different when, you know, you come from a background where you're not as close, somebody's not as close as their family, or, you know, for whatever reason, or the family is deceased, unfortunately, and that person's family is all you have. So, you know, but I look at it as like a plus, because we get to celebrate twice.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, and my family loves him, and his family loves me.
Yeah.
And everybody gets along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, everybody listen, all of them are characters, you know, and when I say they were born to be in the business, I mean, they just, look, it is funny because I feel like Andy is like a combination of Joey and Matthew.
Yeah.
So you have Joey that's like extreme in certain ways, and Matthew is extreme in certain ways, and I think Andy is just like perfectly in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Wouldn't you say?
No, that's exactly right, because it doesn't follow our birth order. I'm the
It
middle
doesn't.
one.
You're really
Joe's
the
always-
middle.
Yeah. But in personality types, Andy's the middle.
Yeah,
Joe's
right.
on that end, and I'm on that end.
Yeah.
And Andy kind of bridges the gap between us.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Andy is the go-between for me and Joe too. Like when we're at opposite ends, we're like Andy, and then Joe will be like, and Andy. And then you know, Andy will be like, okay, Matt and Joe, get together. We can fix this. Yeah.
Listen, I would love to tour until we're like 80. But Tion doesn't want to. She's just like, no. So, you know, and I'm in a group. So, you know, that's where the compromises, you know, have to be met. But it's funny because we're already kind of like starting to talk about ideas and things like that. And obviously, you know, the way we're going to do the songs, the arrangements, and just, you know, it's going to be something very different. You know, we always try to come up with different things when we go on tour. But this, obviously, I mean, a farewell tour, it's got to be very, very special and something that our fans have never seen. Our manager, Bill Diggins, his dream was, you know, to do this TLC musical. And we got all the right people in that world, and it's really been coming along. And it's funny to see, you know, someone, you know, try to tap into your character and, you know, bring all that to life. But we are very accessible, you know, to the girls, and they have their understudies, those girls too, and because we just want it to be right, you know, whatever they need to be able to embody, you know, us and portray us in the right way. And it's going to be very different, you know, not like your typical musical when it comes to a music group, you know. So it concentrates on the relationship between the three of us, you know, just how close we are. And no matter what happens, you know, we're like this, you know. We just, it's like one of those marriages that you can't get a divorce. like it's not even an option, you know. So TLC's forever. Yeah, it is, because, you know, we don't have our sister here to witness this, but at the same time, no one knew her as well as Tion and I when it comes to, you know, the group. You know, anything outside of that, like her family and everything, that's different. But so we're gonna make sure everything is done right, you know, always, because we are each a representation of the other, you know. So it's gonna be
the same way with those darn brothers.
Yeah, right. And the fact that, you know, we're very blessed to be able to tell our story and to oversee something that, you know, is a representation of us. So, you know, that's the blessing within itself. When I tell, he's gonna get all shy and everything, and blush, go ahead. I was so proud of him. I mean, like, so proud of him.
I could have done a lot better, all right? Should have done a lot better.
Whatever. I was very, very proud. And I was just so happy that the world got a chance to see the fact that he can sing. He has such a beautiful voice. You really do, you know this. And, but yeah, I was really proud. And I was so honored that, you know, singing I'm Pretty, our song, that was crazy.
I know, that was crazy.
Tion was so happy too. She was so excited and she was so proud of him. You know, she thought he did an excellent job.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we were singing it before we started rolling.
Yeah, oh, that's the setup. Okay, what about your friends? Hey. Do it.
Oh, should we go this way?
Yep. See? And he can dance too.
Oh, stop it.
Listen, most people, they'll go like this or whatever, but it's like a whole thing. And, hey, get it.
I'm super excited to be a part of something like this. It's a conservation organization that works in the southeast section of Madagascar, and it's a three-pronged approach. It's community outreach, it's reforestation, it's saving Madagascar's endemic wildlife, which, if you don't know about Madagascar, it's literally like the Galapagos in the sense that every mountain range, everywhere you go, there's a different adaptation of a species and a species entirely new to itself. When we were there, we were discovering new species, new spiders, new types of chameleons. it deserves to be saved, and the government doesn't take care of the people. So that's where the community outreach comes from. We're building schools, we're feeding the hungry and taking care of the kids, which is really important. Our end of the year fundraiser, we reached our goal of 100,000, a little over, which was doubled. So we're going to feed like 50,000 children. We're going to be building schools. We're going to be doing all this. We're going to be doing forest corridors to connect the fragments, because the forest is only in fragments. That's all that's left. It's not like this vast, like what you would think, because it's the 4th largest island on the planet. The forests are pretty much all gone. It's just these little forest fragments. So we're building these corridors to connect them, to create biodiversity, and to really save Madagascar's wildlife, which really deserves to be saved. And for me, personally, what really got me invested a long time ago was chameleons. I'm a herpetologist. I love reptiles and amphibians. So the chameleons there, 90% of all chameleon species are from Madagascar. It's it's kind of the cradle of chameleons, if you want to say. And I just think they're an incredibly charismatic reptile. And they're also a canary in the coal mine species. So they can really give you a real temperature read on how the environment's doing. And if they go, the whole food chain can actually collapse from there. So there it is. Madagascar, it deserves our attention. I feel like here in the U.S., you hear about it more in Europe, but here in the U.S., we don't really hear about it. Like, I don't know if you saw what was happening in Nepal, where they had the government collapse and they forced the president. The same thing happened in Madagascar and got zero coverage here. And it was actually the younger generation just trying to get food and water. That's all they were asking for. It's not like they're crazy they literally just needed some food and some water. So that's the real purpose out there, is to get this next generation, an opportunity to make Madagascar one of the examples in the world where, it's one of those forward-thinking cities where you can have that relationship rehabilitation between people and the planet. It can be an incredible, representation for that, and I really believe that it can, and that's what we're trying to do. So Seed Madagascar, check them out.
Yes, because I did name one bearded dragon.
Yes.
Her name is Goldie.
Her name is Goldie.
She is beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Like a burnt mustard
Yeah.
kind of color.
Yeah, she is.
And I hold up. I'm like, I like them.
Yeah.
Well, her especially because I can hold her.
Yeah, she's super friendly.
Yeah.
Very loving little bearded dragon.
Mm-hmm.